on some tropical island somewhere, and we're just having a blast. Thanks for all the views that I got on my last video. I'm super stoked about that. For those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Holly. I am leaving to go drive around the US and Canada for about 6.5 months, and I started this channel to document my travels and everything that I learn and experience along the way. But today is all about this. I've been growing out a pixie haircut since 2012 or so. I have not had long hair since middle school, so I'm super excited about this. Back in 2014, I started a blog on WordPress called Hello Quarter Life Crisis. I wrote in it for like maybe a year, and then it just got a little crazy because I took on a third job. Didn't really have time to post on a regular basis, but the blog post that got a lot of traffic was how to grow out a pixie haircut. I'm actually just gonna rehash my tips. I'm gonna show you guys a lot of very embarrassing selfies, the good hair days, the bad hair days. It's gonna be great. So if you would prefer to read the post instead of listening to me, I will link the blog below in the description box. This is kind of a mixture of tips that I would give anyone, but also just things that helped me along my journey. I do have very, very thick, very coarse hair, so this is not gonna be the same experience as someone with fine hair growing out a pixie cut, but for those fine-haired ladies out there, you can still take away some good info from this. So let's dive right in. With my coarse, thick hair, the longer style pixies were really unsuitable to me. So I ended up going really short. It was inspired by Emma Watson at the time. I was just so in love with her haircut. The benefits of this haircut was I woke up every day looking chic, super high fashion. I didn't really have to put any effort into the haircut. It just made me look really, really confident, really chic, bold. It was awesome. I tried a couple different hair colors with it, which was cool because my hair was so short and I was cutting it all the time that I could, you know, bleach the crap out of it and go blonde. I could go dark and then change my mind, you know, everything in between. It was really cool. So those are the benefits of having a haircut like that. The low points of this haircut are you look the same all the time. And it's a very high maintenance haircut. You do have that trade-off. You wake up not having to style it every day, but you have to get it cut every 4 to 6 weeks, and that can get really expensive. You are investing a good amount of money and time into maintaining the style. I suppose the first stage of growing out I've categorized as the 1 to 3 month mark. This is a tough stage because you're ready to have long hair. This is just the start of a very long journey, so it's really easy to get discouraged. This is the part where your hair poofs out in weird areas. You wake up with like really bad bedhead a lot. It's just not very pretty. One nice benefit that I found during this stage was a mohawk style. It took a good amount of styling and product for me, but it was a really fun look. I never could wear it outside of this like 1 to 3 month period. So I rocked that style quite a lot during that time, and it was really fun. Other than that, everything sort of sucks during the first couple of months. So products are gonna become your best friend at this point. I was using men's grooming clay and men's pomade, both from Aveda. You're gonna need to use products during this time just to help control all of that, especially if your hair is coarse like mine. There's no maintenance involved in this stage, just growing. Try and just be as gentle with your hair as possible and take good care of it so it's nice and healthy when it grows out. During this stage, I was doing a ton of Pinteresting. Only look at bob haircuts. It gets you excited and really into what you're striving for, I guess. Don't look at pictures of pixie cuts because it'll just make you cut it. So the second stage is about that 4 to 6 month period, pretty similar to the last stage in the fact that it's pretty annoying, it's not necessarily the cutest style. This was the point where I could start getting actual blowouts. If you have a special occasion and you want to look really cute, you can kind of go for like a flippy look or blow it out kind of poofy up top if you like a little bit of volume. This was also the first stage that I could get it into a very small ponytail. pigtail with lots of bobby pins. Naturally, air drying it and whatnot didn't necessarily work so great for me. I also colored my hair around this stage as well. I did not bleach my hair during this period. That is so important to keep in mind. Bleach is not good for the hair. It is extremely damaging. You cannot be a bleach blonde and grow out a pixie haircut. I've never seen anyone do it, at least not successfully, where you have healthy, long, pretty hair that doesn't break constantly. I mean, my hair is pretty fried, but I waited until it was long before I ever bleached it. If you can go without coloring your hair, do it. And if you do want to bleach your hair later, then you don't have to bleach through color. You're just bleaching over your natural. And that is ultimately the smartest method. Next stage, the 7 to 9 month point, which I like to call the mullet stage. Yay! I am calling this the mullet stage for obvious reasons. You're actually starting to get a good amount of length through the back of your hair, and during that point, I wore cute little pigtails, and that made me feel really girly and cute. I would recommend at some point in time cutting off that mullet. Have a hairstylist who is fully on board and aware of your goals. I did not cut anything in the front. Your hair between the front and the back of your head is different. Hair around your face is typically finer and more delicate. It's more likely to break and it's slower to grow. This is just part of life. It is this way for most people. This was also the first stage where I could start air drying again. I have naturally wavy hair, so I used a diffuser for styling. Then you don't have to use a curling iron or a flat iron. I really enjoyed air drying my hair for the first time and having it look actually cute. So this is sort of the point where things are on the up and up. You start to get some options. You are still growing out the layers in the back and growing out the front area. So don't overcut, because you will probably want to. Next stage, 10 to 12 months. You've been growing your hair out for a whole year. Half of that year, your hair was basically ugly, at least for me. I start off this stage by doing one of these. Good job, Hall. You worked hard by doing as little as possible, and sometimes that is the most work that you could ask for. During this stage, I felt the need to style my hair quite a bit to look cute, whether it was straightening or curling it. Bad hair days happen quite a bit, and the bad hair days really suck. Like, you look really dumb. I don't know, maybe buy a hat if you're a hat person. My hair also felt really heavy and bulky. I didn't touch it. I think it's still a little premature for a real haircut, and I would just stick it out at this point. You've been doing it for a year now. You are so close, which brings me to the next stage, right around the 13 to 15 month mark, and that is an actual bob. At this point, you can use any tools that you want, whether it's a straightener, diffuser, curling iron, all that jazz. You have lots of options with styling at this point. They are a little time consuming. At least it was for me. I felt like I had to invest a little bit more energy into my styles just because I had more hair. You can go get a haircut at this point just to kind of blend in any ledges that have grown in, remove any bulkiness. I mean, I had a ton of bulkiness. I'm talking minimal, very little length off, more like internal hair cutting. Your hair is really making progress at this point, and you have to protect it, especially if you are styling it quite a lot. During this stage, I was styling my hair almost every day. So you have to make sure that you are protecting your hair with a nice heat protectant and oil, and you can ask your hairstylist what they recommend. I ended this blog post that I wrote right around the 16-month mark. So I had been growing out my hair for about a year and a half. I ended it by saying, go get bangs. In hindsight, I'm not saying that's the best idea. My point was, you have like an actual cute short hairstyle. It's still short, but you can basically do whatever you want with it and make it look cute if you want. I decided to give myself bangs. The reason I did that was because I had worked so hard at not touching my hair that I felt like I deserved a big change. This is the point where some people might go get their hair colored. Also, the nice thing about bangs, they do create a little bit of an optical illusion. By having short hair compared to longer hair, it creates that illusion that your hair is longer. So that's why people get layers a lot of the time. I enjoyed having bangs as well because it just made me feel like I had more of a haircut and more of a style. And it was exciting and awesome, and I felt very proud of myself when I wrote this blog. Fast forward, I've obviously made so much more progress. I'm so excited about it. I'm gonna show you the before photo that I used in the blog post and the photo of my after. So that is where I was at 2 years ago, is a really cute, sassy little bob haircut. I still had some fun layers in there just because my hair hadn't grown out of the layers quite yet. It was still pretty short, but that is the amount of progress I made within 16 months of growing out my hair. I also have a couple things to know. Genetically, your hair will stop growing at a certain point. Some people are just genetically incapable of growing their hair longer than other people. There is that point for everyone. It's just different on everybody. As you age, your body changes, you go through different cycles. That is always a possibility that you will not be able to grow your hair out as long as you want. Just make the best of what you have. If you really are upset about it, there are extensions and ways of going around that. My second big tip is dry hair is more likely to become brittle and break, adding oil to your hair. Even if it's just the ends, if you have naturally oily hair, it's still really important to keep your hair moisturized. One thing that I did during my hair growth process was put olive oil in my hair before I would get in the shower. I really like hot showers. Hot water can be quite damaging and dehydrating for your hair and skin. By putting a ton of just cheap oil in my hair, that was creating a nice buffer from the hot water when I would be taking long showers. And it would all rinse out, and I would, shampoo it out and then add in my conditioner later, and then put oil in once I got out of the shower as well, like a hair oil. Like, I love Moroccan oil. That's a very affordable product that is still good quality. There are lots of oil options out there for you. Right now I have coconut oil that I really like using before I get in the shower, putting oil in your hair before bed and then washing it out in the morning. Really, you can do whatever you want. Just kind of depends on what works for you. Keep it lubed, guys. Keep it lubed. I washed my hair minimally. I still only wash my hair maybe once a week, sometimes less. Try and use lukewarm to cool water whenever you can. If you have a really hard time not washing your hair, try skipping the shampoo and just doing conditioner. That's another option. Especially in America, there's this over hygienic state of mind that we have to be really clean. I don't shower every day. I don't even shower every other day most of the time, and I'm fine. I also used hair pills. Hair, skin, and nail pills are really easy to find. Biotin, B12, those are all good things. Fish oil is another good one. Or just eating a well-balanced diet. That's gonna make a huge difference if you're getting your vitamins naturally, eating them through your food. That's obviously the best way to do it, but I did use hair pills during my hair growth process. I was actually so annoyed at how long my nails grew out because I have to keep my nails short. I could tell more of a difference in my nails than my hair, but in hindsight, I would still recommend at least trying it and just seeing if you notice a difference. Even if it just makes your hair shinier and healthier and stronger. Healthy hair can easily become long hair. Being cautious with styling techniques, I was really into backcombing. Try and keep that to a minimum or learn how to backcomb properly. Being cautious with how you are straightening your hair and curling your hair and all of that jazz, using the heat protection. It all comes down to just keeping your hair really healthy and just being really careful on what you're doing to it and with it. Even using a good quality hairbrush will make a difference. The wet brush is fantastic if you are prone to tangles. Even, I'll show you actually right now. This is the paddle brush I've had since 2011. It's still in pretty fantastic shape. It's a Veda's paddle brush. You just don't want to cause any split ends. The ends of your hair are so important when you're growing your hair out because you don't want to have to cut off dead ends all the time. So one tip that I use, typically people brush their hair like this, and you'll see that the bristles, sorry I didn't clean it before, but the bristles are not in straight lines this direction, and that helps get out tangles. But when you're first starting to brush your hair, if you do have tangly hair, brush it this direction. You can see the spaces are more even I always start brushing my hair like this with the hairbrush in this direction, and then once most of the tangles are out, then you can go in and give it a real good brush. Oh, that actually makes me think of another tip. Stimulate the scalp. I have no idea if this is real, but it feels good and it might help your hair grow, but like even just brushing straight onto the scalp, first of all, that feels so good. It's so relaxing. Even massaging the scalp, that feels good too. But what that is gonna do is stimulate blood flow in the scalp. I have no idea if this is real or not. Like, I just would like to think that having blood flow in the scalp is gonna help your hair grow faster. I don't know. It's just a thought. Again, being very minimal with hair color, only get professional coloring done. Avoid bleach at all costs. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. My final tip was to just stay positive, get creative with your hairstyles, get creative with hair accessories, hats, makeup, and stay inspired. All of the information I just went over is basically what I put into my blog post, and I will link it below if you want to revisit any of the photos or check out my blog. I haven't written in it for a year and a half or so. I have no idea if I'll write in it again. I'm keeping it just in case I do want to add to it during my trip. I'm not really sure. I want to talk a little bit about what's happened in the last, 2 years since then. So this has been an extra 2 years since that last photo that I showed you. Really enjoying having long hair. So it's been so fun. I feel so pretty with it. So picking up where I left off after that blog post that I wrote, in hindsight, I'm like, wow, that was really short hair. I still had like wonky layers everywhere, but I felt like celebrating with that blog post. At that point, I got pretty careless. Okay, like I have long hair now. I'm gonna bleach the shit out of it. So I did. I went back to being blonde. Blondes have more fun anyway. So I did bleach the crap out of my hair. I did do it in stages. There's still smart ways of going about it. But when you are ready to go back to being blonde, if you are like me and going through a similar situation, please don't do it yourself. Even as a professional, I have done it myself and fucked it up just by not having a second pair of eyes. All of the tips that I mentioned earlier, these were all things that I still practiced, but I did damage my hair quite a lot. Then, I wasn't really thinking about it, I was more in the moment. I didn't have any specific goals in mind, which is okay, but if you have goals, like, don't forget them and like go on some random tangent. So what I did was I started experimenting with pastel colors, went like a periwinkle that was really pretty. I did like a dark blue, I did pastel pinks, I did pastel blue. Once I went back to being blonde after that little rainbow stage, it just made this color look really gross and I didn't like it. So then I went and got dark roots. I loved the look, but then when that grows out and I go to bleach it again, I have to eat through that hair color. My hair is above average in strength. My hair is super strong. I would not recommend doing that on anyone's hair. Just don't do what I did. I was like crazy. I've been growing out my natural color for a good 6 months now. I've been really happy with my hair just feeling a little healthier and being longer, and I'm just trying not to do anything to it. I've just been trimming the bottoms as needed. I'm like so minimal about it. That's kind of where my hair's been at. I finally feel like I've reached this stage of my hair growth journey. I hope this was inspiring or informational to someone out there who is wanting to grow out short hair, whatever stage you're at. If you do have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe. If you are growing your hair out, I wish you all the luck and patience in the world because you're gonna need it. He is like literally the best cat. Like, I'm a dog person, I'm not a cat person, but like Brian is really special. I love you.